And like I said, there's also this nice lady, as you know, Diana Morales, who is more on the DSA side of things. Lauren Ashcraft, Melanie Abrigo, you know, they're supporting Diana.
Look, you know, there have always been things like when I've spoken about Andrew Yang, like there's things I agree with him, and there's things that he's 100%. Not, you know, as left as I would want, but it's definitely a good option for that city.
Oh, 1,000%.
He would be an amazingly good option.
That's why I hope, well, like I said, that's why coalition building is so important. I think Andrew is great at that. And I think when it's all said and done, I think Andrew and Diana would serve themselves very well by basically saying, whether you vote for me first or you vote for Andrew first, just make sure you vote for us second.
Well, right. And that's the best way to handle things with ranked choice voting.
Correct.
That's the beauty of ranked choice voting.
And you can build those coalitions because of ranked choice voting. That's when it becomes a major component.
There's no spoiler. It's a great thing.
Definitely not. And I do think that UBI, you know, again, a lot of people, I can still remember when Andrew first came out and they were talking, oh, what is this guy nuts?
He's going to give free money.
He's going to give free money. Oh, he's just going to print money out of the air.
That's like Klobuchar, remember at one point says, well, when you've got Andrew offering free money to people, then it's so, of course that's popular.
But you know what the sad truth is? The sad truth about our politics today and where we are, and because the Democratic Party is so desperate to fight off this populist uprising, Tucker Carlson will have somebody like Andrew Yang on his show to talk about the merits of UBI to millions of people, even if they vote Republican. And he would have them in, and the left would go nuts. But you're never going to see somebody like Chris Hayes have Andrew Yang on to talk about this, or Rachel Maddow, or Anderson Cooper, or dare I say Chris Cuomo. Let me tell you something. Oh my God. I would love to see Chris Cuomo have to interview Andrew Yang.
That'll be nice.
Because let me tell you something. Bill de Blasio is a douchebag. He is a colossal douchebag.
I've never met him.
I can tell you that from people that know him. A colossal douchebag who could never be a great, favorable foil to somebody like Andrew Cuomo. Somebody like Andrew Yang is going to make Cuomo look like the villain that he really is.
Yeah, he is, because Andrew Yang is so likable.
He is.
I know.
And Andrew Cuomo is not.
No, that's it. Because Andrew Yang is just one of those people, like everyone likes him. Even if you don't agree with him, you like him because he's likable.
And the other thing that people have to remember, which is very, very important, I will say this until I'm blue in the face. You cannot emphasize enough how powerful corporate media still is. Because when they do surveys about potential presidential candidates or gubernatorial candidates, whoever gets stuck on MSNBC, CNN, or Fox News the most is very often who is going to be at the top of these polls. Because that's who answers these polls. And the narrative becomes a thing.
Old people with landlines.
So when Chris Cuomo is constantly interviewing his brother and they're having their Cuomo party hour, they're going to...
Momo, Cuomo.
So by nature, they're going to assume that, oh, I guess Andrew Cuomo's okay, so I guess he's a good one.
I sort of look at both of them as like a pinnacle of nepotism. Like the two, like I just feel like they're part of a monarchy. Well, Fredo. I would.
That's a slur.
It's awesome. It was awesome.
That's a slur.
Yeah.
What?
But it's calling you a feckless fool is what it's calling you. But I don't think that feckless fools are a protected class.
No, but what it also shows is you could tell that Cuomo's a real
he's got some chip on his shoulder. He is Fredo.
Big time.
I don't like the concept of monarchy. And I don't like the concept, like it was the same thing with Lacey Clay in St. Louis or anything. I don't like the concept of monarchy. That sort of defeats what we're doing here. So the fact that there's just all these Cuomos doesn't make me any more pleased than all the different Bushes or Clintons or any of that. It's enough of that. The elitism is stifling.
That is the scariest thing because that is something that unfortunately the 65 and over demographic, they are very comfortable with the Bushes and the Clintons. And, you know, look, I hate to say it, but there's going to be a push for Ivanka, for Don Jr.
Oh my God.
There's people who, unfortunately, they're all caught up in the celebrity BS.
Well,
the name and all that.
But, you know, it's still monarchy. Like, to me, that's just how it feels.
1,000%.
I don't like the way it feels. So when you hear Cuomo, it's like, It doesn't.
But there are people who still are enamored with the idea of the royal family.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
I do have a weakness for some.
So there you go.
But not because the royal family, but because of Diana, and so that is why I like William
Diana
and Harry
wasn't
and their offspring.
Those are anomalies.
Which is why I care for her offspring. I don't care about anything that's not her offspring. So like that's the thing.
That's
fair. But it isn't about the concept of royalty. In fact, she was not somebody who was on their hit list. She was on their actual hit list.
Oh boy.
As the queen said, off with her head.
Yeah.
Off with her head.
You know, just as it's a very powerful scene in The Godfather, but when Diane Keaton says to Al Pacino, Michael, senators don't have men killed. Oh, who's being naive, Kay? And it's true.
Don't ever ask me about the business.
Don't ever ask me about my business.
Don't ever ask me about my business. It's sort of like, just some things are better left unknown.
There's some things the family could talk about at the dinner table, but you can't talk about it with regular people.
That's how honestly, though, I kind of feel like that when I see people like Chris Cuomo. I feel like he is kind of thuggy.
Well,
he comes off like a thug to me.
He is Fredo because he couldn't, again, just remember, with all due respect.
I think it's brilliant that someone even just thought of that in the moment to say that to him. Like, that's what's so...
and the fact that he snapped over
it. No, that just proves that he is Fredo. Yeah. But like, just this how clever somebody was that they thought of that and got like...
What's up, Fredo?
Really, exactly.
What'd you call me?
Exactly.
Like, what?
And the fact that
I thought your name was Fredo. Oh my God. The fact that he kept going with it was even great. Awesome. But the truth of the matter is, this is what I would say to Chris. Just remember, you're only a network anchor on CNN because your last name is Cuomo. Your father is the reason that you have that job.
That's the thing. They're a pinnacle of nepotism.
Think about how many more qualified people there are that should have that job, and they don't have it because you have the name.
Somebody off the top of my head, Cynthia Nixon, I think would have been much better at that job. So, that's who I liked.
Cynthia Nixon should have your brother's job right now. But unfortunately, you did everything in your power to make sure that your brother kept that job.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Andrew. I'm sorry. I was off of Fredo.
No, but the irony
I was
of
on
that.
To the governor thing. I know that Cynthia Nixon wasn't trying for Chris's job.
The only good thing we could say about Chris Cuomo is that we did run Jen's campaign ad a number of times on his show, and a lot of people saw it, and that's a good thing. So I guess in that way, we can say that Cuomo's good for something. But simply put...
This is true. Mallory's right about this, though, too. Yes, because it was an Italian slur, not just a slur on his feckless, weak little self. It was a slur on the entire Italian ethnicity to refer to him as Fredo. But yes, I agree. That is exactly what... As if Fredo is some like offensive Italian slur.
No, the reality is people are enamored with money and power and fame. Look, we know that AOC is doing it in one component as a career. There's no question that she is. The only thing I hope, Jen hopes, and I'm sure everybody else hopes, you do need that star, that crossover star.
You need someone to be a leader.
That can do this.
You need someone to be a leader, not just who's right on policy.
She is sticking to her guns on the policies we need, as well as the corporate special interest money, and refraining from it.
Exactly.
As long as she's fighting for that, and if she has to do her dance with the bourgeois crowd, but if that's what it's going to take for us to make Medicare for all, UBI, and the like mainstream, then that is the sacrifice that we are going to have to make. I do not agree with what Jimmy and a lot of other people said, that Alex is a sellout and that the other people are sellouts.
I don't either.
Do I think that they are politically weak in some respects? Yes. I think that they don't fight the way that you need to fight, which is like the Tea Party fights, and basically run a bull through a china shop. I do think, though, that we do have to build these bridges and not burn them. You can be angry, but this whole burn it to the ground, it's not going to work. It's already hard enough to have to fight. But imagine how many things we can accomplish if we just use the tools that are in front of us right now. As an example, in this county, we have a 350 committee seats filled. There are 1,100 total, which means 750 of them are not filled. If we were to fill them with young progressives, for example, don't even have to be young, just people who are not interested in the corporate duopoly. Imagine what type of change you could have if you just were willing to put in the work. We need more people. That's how this is going to happen. The tools are there. This idea that you can't take over the Democratic Party from within, it's BS. You actually could. But again, you have to know how to do it. You have to know where to do it. And now is the time to do it. So I hope people recognize that in just 2 short years, think about this. In just 2 short years, what changes have we made? Prior to Alex winning her race against Joe Crowley, no one even thought about primarying corporate Democrats. And now, due to that monumental win, you've got Cori Bush, you've got Mondaire Jones, you've got Jamal Bowman, you've got Maureen Newman, you've got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you have Ilhan Omar, you have, in my opinion, the best one of them all, Rashida Tlaib. You've also got Ayanna Pressley.
It's growing.
Imagine what could happen in 2 more years.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.